See the Wednesday night fight on ABC Television Network.
Under Section 315 of the Communications Act, television stations are obligated to afford equal opportunity.
Among the things turned up during preparations for the Centennial exhibit were kinescopes of television appearances by SLP candidates during the now bygone time when broadcasters were still making feeble attempts to live up to the equal time provision, or Section 315 of the Communications Act.
We of the Socialist Labor Party hold that we live in a period of history when another fundamental social change must be made if we are to continue on the road of progress. At this point, I would like you to bear with me while we go over a little of American history. Let's go back to, say, 150 years, when tools were simple and easily acquired. It was a time, too, when Americans were noted for their strong, independent spirit. They had an independent spirit because, for the most part, they owned their tools. This ownership and control of the means of life imparted a deep sense of self-reliance. Take the early 19th century blacksmith, for example. He started out as a blacksmith's helper working for someone else. But he didn't work for someone else long. As soon as he mastered the trade, he set out to go into business for himself. And he could do this because the blacksmith's tools, hammers, tongs, anvil, and forge, were easily acquired, and most of them he could make himself. The point is this: he owned his tools, he performed the work, all that he produced was his. But something happened in time that was profound and far-reaching. The simple hand tool gradually evolved into a huge, complicated machine. And this machine was too big and too expensive to be easily acquired. Gradually, the blacksmith shop of the early 19th century became the giant steel corporation of today. The modern blacksmith, the steel worker, cannot go to work today, learn his trade, then buy a steel corporation. The whole economic way of life has changed. The agricultural economy has given way to an industrial economy. But one thing didn't change. That was the principle of private property. The tool, now a gigantic industrial tool, is still privately owned. And private ownership still enables the owners, now the capitalist class, to appropriate the product. You will remember that the 19th century blacksmith was both owner and worker. The two functions were combined in one person. Not so today. Today the owner does not work, and the people who do the work do not own. Having no tools of their own, they must come hat in hand to the owners of industry and sell their labor power as a commodity. Now note this. When the American workers lost possession of their tools, they lost something on which their forefathers placed great value. They lost their economic independence. Socialism aims to restore this independence and the spirit of reliance that goes with it by once again making the people who do the work the owners of their tools. Of course, the individual workers will not individually own their tools under socialism. You can't divide a big newspaper press, say, so that one worker owns a roller and the other a switch and so on. That would be impossible and ridiculous. The modern industrial tool is socially and collectively operated, so it will have to be socially and collectively owned. In short, the changes that have taken place in our social and property relations now call for corresponding changes in our society as a whole, including our governmental institutions. We must make a change from capitalism to socialism.